Welcome back to the Decent Garage. My name is Tim. Today we're going to go down and take the OG crew cab to a dyno at Power Driven Diesel in Cedar City, Utah. But before that, we have a ton of new subscribers since my last video with Rudy's Adventure Design. I've got one of those already filmed with another YouTuber, and I've got a few more in the queue already and plans for a bunch more, so stay tuned for those. We're going to be doing a lot of those videos so you can get to know some of the other YouTubers on the YouTube community and the automotive industry. But before we get to the dyno, let me introduce the new viewers to some of the projects we have here on the channel. Right here we have what we call the OG crew cab. It's a 1985 crew cab that I built from the ground up using a 93 drivetrain. This is kind of the pride and joy of myself and of the channel. And we are shooting for 400 horsepower right now on this truck, eventually going for 600 horsepower. So this is kind of a performance build we're working on and doing a lot of other fun stuff with it too. This truck is also very unique. It has a 6-speed G56 transmission that we swapped into it about 8 months ago, and I did a whole video series on that. Right here we have my 1978 CJ5 Army Jeep. This I just finished doing a frame off restoration. Still have a few things to do. I need to paint the wheels, get new tires, and redo the seats. But besides that, she is good to go. It runs great. We call this project Lieutenant Dan, and you can probably tell why just from looking at it. Right here we have Long Bed Larry. This is a long bed crew cab, 4-wheel drive, first gen Cummins. So if you go back in earlier videos, we've done a full build on a 12-valve P-pump motor that's going in this. We've got the NV4500 5-speed transmission that I'm going to rebuild here in the next week or two, so that's going to go in this truck. We've been doing body work on it. You can see I've got it primed somewhat. It's pretty much ready to go to start priming and painting, so we're working on that. That video will be out shortly as well. And then over here we have a 1984 crew cab first gen with a P-pump 12-valve 5-speed as well. We call this one Prospector Bob because it is a Prospector trim line. This is a sweet truck. So those are our projects here on the channel currently. Let me know if you have any questions about any of those particular projects. Also, I'd like to hear if you have any suggestions for other projects we should bring onto the channel. Before we head down to Cedar City to the dyno, let me give you a 10-second recap on the last dyno that we did. This was a couple months ago. In a period of a week, I installed a bunch of performance parts, turbo injectors, exhaust manifold, head studs, valve springs, tons of stuff. We had a good run, hit 342 horsepower, but it turns out we had a huge boost leak. So we fixed that issue, and now we're gonna see what the difference is. Let's head down to Cedar City, Utah and get the OG crew cab thrown on the dyno, trying to hit our 400 horsepower mark today. Alright guys, we are at Power Driven Diesel. There you can see. So we're about to take the truck in, get it strapped down, put on the dyno, and see what she does. I also have to give a huge thanks to Power Driven Diesel. They kind of hooked us up on this, and they want to see the truck dynoed, so we're going to do it. Should be really fun. So thanks again, Power Driven Diesel, for sure. Alright guys, we're almost all strapped down. There's a look. But we got a bunch of cameras set up. We're gonna get the screen, we're gonna get the rear end of it, so should be pretty good. So let's hit it. So it just occurred to me that many of my viewers may not know why I'm doing this dyno. If you're familiar with the 12-valve Cummins, it came with two different types of injection pumps, the VE pump and the P pump. The P pump is notorious for making huge horsepower numbers, but the VE pump is harder to make big numbers on it. So I've made a goal to try and hit 600 horsepower with the VE injection pump in my truck. It's gonna be a feat, but I want to do it to show that it can be done, and I want to learn how to install all the parts so I can show you guys that. Currently, we're just trying to hit the 400 horsepower threshold before we start installing some major upgrades on this truck. go, guys. Alright guys, there we go. We did a bunch of runs. We tweaked a bunch of stuff with the KSB, with the wastegate on the turbo, with the load on the dyno. We played with a ton of stuff. The highest we were able to get was 359. So, you know, it is what it is. These dynos, this is a Mustang dyno. It's completely different than the Superflow that we dynoed on before, so that could be a variable. But anyways, I was really happy with it. It felt way better than when we had that huge boost leak on the other dyno we did before. So not the number we exactly wanted, but who knows. Well guys, there you have it. We didn't quite hit that 400 horsepower mark, but did you see the torque number? 900 foot-pounds of torque. That is an insane amount of torque, and you can feel it. It is such a fun truck to drive. So we're gonna make some adjustments before the next dyno event, which is in 3 weeks, and we should be able to hit that 400 horsepower mark so we can install some really cool stuff on this truck. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you in the next one.